This is the Randi Rhodes Show. To speak with Randi, dial 561-270-3844. That's 561-270-3844.
Okay, so after his big speech, which was poorly attended because people were being screened out for having weapons, guns and ammo, the president wants to then go to the Capitol. He wants to watch the carnage. He wants to watch the bloodshed. The Secret Service, the head of his Secret Service detail is a guy named Robert Engel. That is the head of the president's personal Secret Service detail. Robert Engel tells him, you're not going to the Capitol. We have to take you back to the West Wing, and brings him back to the West Wing. When Robert Engel goes back to the West Wing, Cassidy Hutchinson is there. And Robert Engel starts to relay the story of what happened in the car, the Beast, on the way back from the president's speech to the West Wing, even though because the president did not want to go back to the West Wing. He wanted to watch the bloodshed.
When you returned to the White House in the motorcade after the president's speech, where did you go?
When I returned to the White House, I walked upstairs towards the Chief of Staff's office, and I noticed Mr. Ornato lingering outside of the office. And once we had made eye contact, he quickly waved me to go into his office, which was just across the hall from mine. When I went in, he shut the door, and I noticed Bobby Engel, who is the head of Mr. Trump's security detail, sitting in a chair, just looking somewhat discombobulated and a little lost. And I looked at Tony, and he had said, "Did you effing hear what happened in the Beast?" I said, "No, Tony, I just got back. What happened?" Tony proceeded to tell me that when the president got in the Beast, he was under the impression from Mr. Meadows that the off-the-record movement to the Capitol was still possible and likely to happen, but that Bobby had more information. So once the president had gotten into the vehicle with Bobby, he thought that they were going up to the Capitol, and when Bobby had relayed to him, "We're not, we don't have the assets to do it, it's not secure, we're going back to the West Wing," the president had a very angry response to that. Tony described him as being irate. The president said something to the effect of, "I'm the effing president, take me up to the Capitol now." To which Bobby responded, "Sir, we have to go back to the West Wing." The president reached up towards the front of the vehicle to grab at the steering wheel. Mr. Engel grabbed his arm, said, "Sir, you need to take your hand off the steering wheel. We're going back to the West Wing. We're not going to the Capitol." Mr. Trump then used his free hand to lunge towards Bobby Engel, and when Mr. Ornato had recounted this story to me, he had motioned towards his clavicles.
The president of the United States of America tried to strangle his own secret security detail. The president of the United States wanted to see the carnage so badly. He knew that the Capitol was the target. He knew these people were armed. He was briefed on all of this, okay? He understood why his rally was so poorly attended. It was because the people with weapons were being screened out. And he said, "Just let them in. They're not here to hurt me. They're not here to hurt me. And then we can march to the Capitol." They said, no. Don't worry, Mr. President. We don't want our weapons confiscated by the Secret Service. We'll go to the Capitol, but we'll go from the mall. Okay, so he was already pissed because it wasn't a good shot of the speech that he was about to give. And he wanted to go to the Capitol to witness the bullets flying. And the Secret Service wouldn't let him, and he grabbed the steering wheel of the car. The Secret Service officer in charge of the president's detail said, "Sir, you have to let go of the steering wheel." And Trump lunges for his own Secret Service agent's neck to strangle his own Secret Service agent. Great. 25th Amendment, anybody? 25th? I just... this story just gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Dean in L.A.
Randy.
Yes.
Oh, Captain, my captain.
Huh.
Hey. Boiling to death out here in L.A., but it's sounding pretty awful back in D.C. Yeah, speaking of the 25th Amendment, I was actually hoping they would have gotten to that issue because I still am up in the air on when did anybody in the the cabinet start saying maybe we should invoke the 25th Amendment here.
Oh, January 7th.
On January 7th they were?
Yeah.
But I'd always been on the impression that they literally were talking about it that afternoon on January 6th.
No, on the 7th, the deputy counsel, the White House deputy counsel, the counsel was Pat Cipollone, and the deputy counsel was a guy named Pat Philbin. And Pat Philbin on January 7th told the president, either you're going to give a speech to the country and you're going to, apologize for this, or we're going to invoke the 25th Amendment. And, we don't know what the Senate is going to do. We have no idea what the Senate is going to do. Because during January 6th, when he's back at the White House, Pat Cipollone witnesses that the president doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want to stop it. He doesn't want to intervene. He doesn't want to call them off. He doesn't want to tweet at them. He doesn't want to make a video to tell them to go home. He doesn't want to do any of it. So the next day, they're talking about the 25th Amendment.
Oh, there you go. So the cabinet members, some of them had already
resigned. Yeah, Mitch McConnell's wife, Elaine Chao, she said, well, I just can't set this behavior aside. And so she resigned. And Betsy...
Yeah, they gave the meatloaf defense. I'll do anything for Trump, but that I won't do.
Right, but I won't do that. I would do anything for Trump, but I won't do that. I can't do that. I won't do that. I won't do that.
It's probably better you mess up the lyrics so we don't get hit with a copyright.
Yeah. John in Oregon.
Hey, Randy.
Hi.
Hey, what a day of testimony.
That was stunning, really. And we're not even done.
No, but today was, okay, so you were just talking about the president's behavior regarding, I guess, assault on a federal agent is what maybe a lawyer would call it.
Yes.
Yeah. What really struck me was what's Cassidy Hutchinson?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was describing that she walked into the dining room of the White House where she found a waiter cleaning ketchup off a wall.
Yeah,
because he had thrown a plate, and that this was not like a special kind of thing. It was they were used to him taking the tablecloth and just flinging it everywhere.
Yeah, he's like he's like Teresa from The Real Housewives of New Jersey. He just flips tables, is what he does. Yeah, he loses his stuff and he just flips a table. Yeah, and throws plates at the wall and threw his lunch at the wall is what she said. Yeah,
it was ridiculous. There was a show on the comedy channel called The President Show with Anthony Adamunich.
Yeah, Howard loves it.
It ran for one season. I think it was because they considered it to be too far out there.
Oh, it was great. It was good.
Going back and rewatching some of those clips, now you're like, oh my God, that was like a historical documentary.
So was The Simpsons when you think about it. The Simpsons had this crazy episode way back in the day where Donald Trump became the president. It was supposed to be, like a sarcastic satire, like a mocking look at American politics that a guy like Donald Trump from a reality TV show would end up being the president. And that happened. That's how crazy
Randy,
we've gotten.
Randy, I'm in Portland, which is the home of Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, and I'm a bit of a Simpsons fan myself. And of course, who the president was in that scenario was Lisa. And I don't know, but what do you? Oh gosh, I mean, in a way, I really want Hillary to run in 2024 and win, win in like win in a landslide, win the Dakotas and Missouri and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe.
Hey, listen. If Hillary were the president of the United States for the 4 years prior to first of all, she'd be president again. But none of this would have happened. Not any of the violence, not any of the white nationalism, not any of the unleashing of the Hitler Youth, which is what these freaks are. not any of the abortion bans and women who are going to drop dead now in childbirth or trying to, see it through and not go to jail. I mean, all of this disgusting crap that we've been put through would never have happened. And nobody would be happy with Hillary.
Keep it up, Randy.
You keep it up. You're the man. You're the impregnator. The sperminator. I'm serious. Because none of this would have happened, no one would appreciate the presidency of Hillary Clinton. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to randyrhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.